I love this amplifier so much. It sounds so crunchy. Of course, I'm talking about my RedSeven Amplification Leviathan Custom Joker Edition. And this amp holds a special place in my heart because of the custom graphics. It was built for me by the guys from RedSeven, which is a company based in Italy. They make some really wonderful amplifiers with unique sounds and unique features. So today we're going to take a quick look at this amplifier and also talk about my new capture pack, which is based on this amplifier. First, let's take a listen to how this amplifier sounds on channel 2, so the high gain channel, through my ENGL 4x12 XXL cabinet. Take a listen. That sounded absolutely brutal, tight and articulate, and with a lot of string definition. Amazing. So that was my Schecter E1 SLS Elite with the Fishman Fluence modern pickups in it, with the ceramic in the bridge on the active voicing. So very tight and very articulate sounding. Very cool. And the amp went into the cabinet and was mic'd up with an SM57. And for the audio interface, I used my Neural DSP Quad Cortex. Sounded really cool. And again, I say this in all the videos in which I use this cabinet, but this cabinet makes every amp roar and sound so mean. Love it. Anyway, the RedSeven Leviathan Joker Edition. Wow. So this is a one-of-a-kind version. Internally, in terms of the components and the circuitry, it's the same as basically all the Leviathans. 2-channel amplifier with a bunch of switches and then KD88s in the power section. But in terms of the graphics, this is unique. There's only one of these in the world with these awesome Joker graphics on the tonex, the white front, and then the green knobs and some extra goodies on the back. If you want to know a lot more about this amplifier, I do recommend checking out my in-depth demo and review. But yeah, they did an amazing job on this amplifier, and it's definitely one of my favorites. I also featured it in my top 5 favorite amplifiers video recently. And besides the looks, it sounds amazing and it has a unique voice too. So we have 2 channels, as I said. Channel 1 is kind of like your British sound, but it's not exactly like that. It has its own flavor going on. And there's a bright switch over here and a hot switch for adding more gain and for boosting this channel. So this is basically a bit more of a classic sounding channel, but it has a great texture to it and it sounds very full. You can't go super clean, so the cleans will have some breakup, which is fine by me. And when you crank it up, especially with the hot switch, you get a nice sort of fat and sort of vintage high gain tone, but very nice. Now, channel 2. That's where the magic is at for me. That's the high gain channel. It has a very modern voicing, very tight and articulate. But no matter how much gain you add, there will always be a lot of string definition. So it's a very clear sounding amplifier on channel 2. Really nice. On the back, we also have presence and depth control for fine tuning the top and bottom end. And we also have 2 master volume controls. And yeah, I mean, the texture on the lead channel, so channel 2, is really interesting. It's very tight sounding, especially with tight sounding pickups like the Fishman Fluence Moderns, especially on the active voicing. But it can also sound thick and full depending on the guitar. And depending on the settings, this amp also really appreciates boosts up front for even more aggression. So yeah, it's not a really complicated amplifier. It's a simple amplifier, but I absolutely love it. And I can't say that enough. The guys from RedSeven Amplification just make some really great stuff. And I use their reactive load box, the Amp Central, all the time. So I highly recommend checking out their website and checking out their amplifiers because, as I said, They are very unique and very well built with a lot of love and care. Now, the guys from RedSeven gave me their blessing to make a quad Cortex capture pack for you guys, so you can kind of get a taste of the sound of RedSeven. So I captured the Joker, basically. Does that make me Batman? And you can find this pack, of course, on my Ko-Fi web store. It's called the Joker Capture Pack. And I'll put a link in the comments and the description as well. Anyway, let's start by taking a listen to how some of those captures turned out. Check it out. Very cool, that sounded awesome. So all the captures that I made for the Quad Cortex turned out really well. I'm very pleased with them. So you heard one capture that was shot with the XXL cabinet. So I did, as with all my other packs, 12 captures of the amplifier through the real cabinet mic'd up. And then you also heard a tone, a direct tone with a stock cabinet. And for that I shot 12 captures of the amplifier as well, but with a reactive load. Hey guys, of course I totally forgot to mention that the direct captures were made with an IR in mind from ML Sound Lab, which is the ML Mega Oversized pack on the Almighty IR. So that's sort of how I had the direct captures in mind. But of course, as usual, you can also use the stock cabinet or your own IR. But just so you know which IR I intended it to be used with, okay? So you can use those 12 with your own IR or the stock cabinet or what have you, or through a power amplifier and into a cabinet, for example. And as per usual, as with my other packs, which you can find on my Ko-Fi web store, by the way, I put all the captures into 2 presets. So one preset has 12 captures with the XXL cabinet, and then the other preset has 12 direct captures in it. And if you scroll through the 8 scenes, you can get a good taste of what all the captures have to offer. And I think for the final scene, I also added a little boost up front, or the second final scene or something. So that's also cool to play around with. So what I'm going to do now is grab my Schecter, the E1 SLS Elite. This time I'll put it on the passive voicing for a bit more of a dynamic and fat sound. And I'm just going to jam through some of the captures so you guys can hear what this pack has to offer. Check it out. Great, that sounded really nice. So you go from a very light crunch to a more classic crunch to a hot rodded crunch and onto the modern channel, which is just amazing for high gain. I really love it, and it really does sound unique. So it's a special pack, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. And I also hope that you guys will check out RedSeven Amplification and perhaps support them as well, because they're a wonderful, wonderful company. That's all for this little video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. It really helps the channel out. I'd really appreciate it. Of course, you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, you can also follow me on the Ko-Fi web store for updates and stuff. And let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on the RedSeven Leviathan. And if you've tried my captures, let me know your thoughts as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope to see you soon. Cheers.